Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of X Malice along Kei Okazaki's route. Well, this is our very first episode with him. So, yeah, as with most of the route split-offs, we start here with Sakuragawa, making this particular choice that is specific to him. So without further ado, let us begin romancing our aloof and seemingly carefree SP guy. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. There are things that I need to protect. Obviously, getting involved with Yanagi's investigation would be a violation of my duties. But my real duty, the duty of the police, was to protect the safety of Shinjuku Ward. As a police officer, I wanted to protect whomever I could. So technically, if I was paralyzed by my position or methods, then I'd never make any progress solving the cases. Even if that means I can't stay on the force. I made up my mind and looked straight at Sakuragawa. I came to you with all of that in mind. It might be against regulations, but I'll still do my duty as a police officer. I swear that I'm determined to do that. Huh? When I made my intentions clear, Sakuragawa's eyes went wide, and she dropped her gaze. If I turn you down after saying that, it'd just make me look like the bad guy. She looked up at me, sighing. Fine. I'll help you however I can. Besides, I made a promise to Sasazaka. Really? But I won't lift a finger if it's something that'll blow back in my face. Of course, that's only natural. And don't complain if all I can do is offer you advice, got it? Yes. Huh. She relented, perhaps because of how vigorously I was nodding. It's like, don't shake anything loose in there. Well, come see me if anything happens. I'll help you out if I have time. Sakuragawa finished with a weak smile. I bowed deeply to her. Thank you so much. Quit it with the grand gestures. Her face scrunched up in displeasure, and she folded her arms, sulking. I'm glad she seems like a good person. I was new, so I didn't know many people here. It was gratifying to know her when I had no idea who I could rely on in this situation. The next steps depend on me. I have to do my best not to trouble her too much. Then, my phone vibrated in my pocket. Time to get back to work. Yes, this is Hoshino.
Hoshino, something's happened. We've got a victim.
Coming.
Sounds like the residential area's been hit. It's pandemonium over there. SRCPO has been called in for support. Get over there right away.
Yes, sir. On my way. I hung up the phone and saw Sakuragawa running for the rooftop exit. I was sure she had orders to move out too. I have to hurry. See you there, girl. I put my phone away and started running. Oh, is Mochida driving us? This is an X-Day announcement. We will never forget. We won't forget. People who sinned. When it reaches 0, will be executed. If the police can arrive before this countdown reaches 0, you can save us. Hurry! I don't want to die! I don't want to die! I don't... On the way to the scene in a squad car, I watched a video while listening to Mochida explain the situation. The video had been sent to the public email address of the Shinjuku PD a few hours ago. Unlike past statements, this had been sent only to the police for some reason. Apparently, Investigations HQ had forced a gag order and were analyzing the video.
The gag order is so the police movements don't get leaked to the criminals. Although, Adonis has increased their ranks, so there could be leaks anywhere.
Mochida seemed somewhat annoyed by Investigations HQ's behavior, as if they suspected that there was someone in the station working with Adonis. There is. Probably several someones. But that could be the truth. I softly touched my collar through my clothes. Any information I've heard previously could be transmitted to the criminals. I have to tread very carefully. That's right, I'm unintentionally a spy. The gravity of the position I was in chilled me to my core. We were almost at the scene. A text? I suddenly moved my phone so that Mochida couldn't see the screen. Oh, that's right, it's Sasazuka, right? Yep, it's from Sasazuka.
Stop by on your way home.
It was a short message, but the implication came through loud and clear. Sasazuka and the others probably already caught wind of this crime. Even though the gag order is in place, they don't seem to have slowed down at all. Feeling strangely impressed, I closed my phone. Investigators and detectives were all over. Curious bystanders were also gathering at the scene. Pandemonium was an apt way to describe it. We showed our police notebooks and entered the apartment where the homicide had occurred.
Compared to the previous crimes, they managed to pinpoint the crime scene awfully fast.
But we were still too late. We heard that the victim had already been killed, and the suspect had fled the scene before the police arrived.
Wait here. I'll find out where our posts are.
Yes, sir.
Hey, move it. You're in the way.
Sakuragawa entered the room wearing a forensics uniform. Her tense expression relayed the severity of the crime to me. Morioka, we have an approximate time of death. Oh yeah, back with Morioka again. Always happy to see him.
How long ago?
Looks like it was 10 to 20 minutes before the first officers arrived.
So, we were one step behind.
And the beautiful Seiji Minagishi.
Up to this point, we've been trailing them by so many steps that you could actually say this was a sign of progress. What's the point if we're too late? There's no time for celebration. We still have casualties. I understand. All the more reason we can't overlook any details. It's why we're personally on the scene. I don't want their deaths to be in vain. Yeah. Sakuragawa, did you ID the victim yet?
Satoru Tanaka, 34 years old. He lived here alone. Currently unemployed. He used to be a programmer at a game development studio. I listened to their exchange, making sure to stay out of the way. If they'd located the scene just a bit sooner, this could have been prevented. I was sure that the investigators felt that frustration more than anyone else here. I knew how it felt to be toothless. People's lives depend on my actions. Investigations aren't that simple. Personal actions are not. I would bear that burden. If I wasn't in a collected state of mind. Then someone clapped me on the shoulder.
They need our help putting up the cordon and explaining the situation to the neighbors. Based on when the crime occurred, there's a good chance that the suspect is still nearby. We have to be careful not to let them escape.
Yes, sir. And how are we supposed to pinpoint the suspect? Any advice about that? After we set up the cordon and talked to the neighbors, we were told to gather information. Which we did all day, apparently. Time flew by in a flurry of activity. I realized that it had gotten dark. Kei. So pretty. I hope you give me a good run for my money like Shiraishi did. December 7th, 11:30 p.m. Soon it would be midnight. I walked through the streets of Shinjuku alone. Not very smart. But you're kind of likely to run into Kei if you do that. After we finished interviewing witnesses, I returned to the station and filed in a report. My whole body was racked with fatigue. I just want to go home and rest. Still, I also wanted to know what Sasazuka and the others at the office managed to learn about this incident. That's right, we said we were going in. I whipped myself into shape and began hurrying to the office. Huh? When I arrived in front of the office, I stopped in my tracks. Someone's collapsed. Be careful, or is this just Okazaki sleeping on the ground? Are you okay? As I rushed over in surprise, I was even more shocked when I saw his face. Yep, I called it. Okazaki? Okazaki, yeah, I heard you sleep outside, but really, does it have to be the ground? Couldn't you find a park bench or some grass at least? His eyes were covered by an eye mask, but from the rest of his appearance, it was definitely Okazaki. An eye mask? I leaned in to get a better look at Okazaki. His rising and falling breaths were unmistakably the breaths of a sleeper. No way! He fell asleep here of all places? I reached out to shake him awake, but my hand stopped just short of touching his shoulders. Actually, it would be better if he didn't see me. I'd be in trouble if the police found out about me. It'd be best to steer clear of him. But I can't just leave him here. Okazaki. That's not helping. I tried calling him in a quiet voice, but he showed no signs of waking. Okazaki! No go? I raised my voice louder than before, but he still didn't wake up. What now?
What you doing there?
Ah! I spun around to face the unexpected voice from behind me. There was a man standing there. I didn't notice him at all. Are you like Okazaki's clone? With different coloring? Because of my job, I tended to be pretty good at noticing people nearby. No, you totally are not. Everybody sneaks up on you in this game, always. Because you're a typical heroine. We always get surprised by everybody, and we can't sneak past anybody, ever. It comes with the territory. That's what happens when you become an otome heroine. You lose all stealth points. But he was able to approach me from behind, and I completely failed to notice this man until he spoke.
Are you sleeping here again, sir?
Sir? I reflexively spoke, and was met with a smile. Oh, his eyes look all sparkly.
That guy doesn't wake up so easily once he falls asleep. But he'll definitely wake up if you do this.
Saying that, the man rolled up his sleeves. He also drew a handgun from his holster. Is that really necessary? What? Oh, is it like an automatic reaction to... Okazaki was up in a flash, and he unleashed a lightning-quick spinning roundhouse kick. That's awesome. The gun was knocked out of the other man's hand.
Wait, sir!
Eek! Gah! The man lost his balance, stumbled even further, and went down with a crash. My eyes couldn't keep up with how fast the takedown had been. What? What's happening? You just saw why Kei qualifies as special police.
Oh, it's just you, Yoshinari. Sorry.
Oh,
ow! That was horrible, sir. Also, you totally noticed it was me halfway through.
He just had to teach you a lesson. He looks like a baby Saiki. He's so cute.
Yup. At least deny it.
I figured you'd be able to dodge it. I thought you'd notice I wasn't trying to kill you. I was still flabbergasted as I saw Okazaki casually brush the dirt from his uniform with a pleasant smile. Oh, that cute little pouty face he's got. That's so adorable. I knew the SP officers were physically impressive, but that gap between my expectations and reality was pretty shocking. Ah, Kitty. Good evening. Okazaki smiled wanly, as if he had only noticed me there for the first time. He probably noticed me before. Despite how I found him, he had sharp senses. The fact that he reacted so casually was likely due to his personality.
Huh? Cat? You're Ichika Hoshino.
Huh? Did I introduce myself? No, I don't recall ever doing that.
My name is Hideaki Yoshinori. Okazaki and I are teamed up too.
Yoshinori. Apparently to do something I'm not supposed to hear about. Yoshinori, can I get you alone, please?
Huh? Ow! Ow, ow, ow! Sir, your foot! Why are you stepping on me?
While I was confused by the greeting, Okazaki was angrily stepping on Yoshinori's face. His face? When did he get on the ground? Did I say something wrong?
Yep.
I noticed that Yoshinori had an SP badge on his chest too. Which means...
Oh. Can you believe the nice weather we're having today, sir? It's nighttime, Yoshinori. You're right. Oh. Isn't it dangerous for a lady to be walking home at this hour? Right, sir? Wow, this guy totally makes Okazaki look super competent and not weird at all. He was clearly trying to change the subject, desperately so. Still looking annoyed, Okazaki let out a laugh and nodded. I concur. You may be armed, but the nights are dangerous. As Yoshinori mentioned, you're a cute one. Huh? I never said she was... Right, Yoshinori? Yes, sir. Super cute. You just bullied him into complimenting me. I don't want to hear that it's dangerous to walk alone from a guy who sleeps in the alleyways. More importantly, I absolutely had to be cautious of Okazaki. Yoshinori's earlier panic had been trying to cover up the fact that they both had figured out my name. Which means Okazaki already knows. Yoshinori, why don't you check on Takeru and them? You got it, sir. Take it easy, youngins. Youngins? You kidding me? You gotta be the kid of this group. After watching Yoshinori disappear, Okazaki smiled weakly. That guy's younger than I am. Yeah, I guessed. Huh. Okazaki went quiet, and we shared an awkward silence together. He was watching me. It looked like he wasn't sure how to break the ice. So, you knew. Obviously, he knew my name, but he probably also figured out my identity, too. Okazaki nodded slightly, with a troubled smile. Sorry, I looked into you. It's my job, so I couldn't just ignore you. That much was obvious. To him, I was a strange woman who had approached the people he was protecting. I know that I had no right to complain about either his caution or the background check. SP could request coordination with the police, so if he looked me up, he'd know in no time. No, I should be the one apologizing for misleading you about my identity. Let me reintroduce myself. I'm Ichika Hoshino from Shinjuku Police. Did you approach them as part of your job? I wasn't sure how to answer the direct question. I can't say. Yeah, I don't want to just flat out lie. The truth has served me well in many of these games. Right now, I had no idea if I should say yes or no. Even if I found a clever way to lie to him, it probably wouldn't work. And above all, I was very reluctant to lie to a fellow police officer. I can't say. After thinking it over, that's what I decided. Okazaki's demeanor didn't change, and he smiled wanly at me again. I see. Let me change the question then. Are you working as a police officer? Removing the collar was my top priority. In any case, my life was at stake. Still, I had a very strong suspicion that the collar would be a key to solving the X-Day incidents. And if I was the clue that would lead us closer to the culprits, then I certainly wanted to use that to its fullest extent. That was my conviction as a police officer. Yes. When I nodded, Okazaki seemed to smile in relief. That's good then. In other words, he wouldn't be able to overlook it if I was acting on my own, rather than as part of my duty as an officer. That's fine. Okazaki, is your mission to protect Yanagi and his team? Is there some reason they're so valuable? Yeah, let me ask you a few questions, huh? See how you like it. After taking some time to reflect on the question, Okazaki's face turned slightly serious. If the organization behind the X-Day crimes has some animosity toward the police, then they're in trouble too, since they're former police. In particular, they're a group of talented individuals investigating the X-Day crimes. It's likely they'll be drawn into an attack. We can't just ignore former comrades. It was a plausible explanation, but he spoke like he was detached from it all. Yeah, it seemed like he was kind of diverting the subject to me. The SP's primary mission is to protect valuable people or regular civilians in greater danger. Shinjuku had been turned into a dangerous area, so there should be plenty of people in the city more important than Yanagi and his team. Unless somebody from Adonis, that's high up in the police station, has assigned him to watch
somebody within this particular group, or some bodies, because Adonis is interested in one of them, one or more of them. However, it seemed bizarre to me that SP would task its valuable resources to address the potential threat of former officers. He's hiding something after all. That's what I would be protecting. Something special, precious, a heavy burden, something that's irreplaceable. I could still clearly recall Okazaki's profound tone when he'd said that. Does he mean Yanagi's team? No, that's probably not it. The way he looked when he said that, he had to be referring to something else. Is he watching Yanagi's group in order to protect that other thing? Does he suspect them of being on the other side? I've troubled you. My expression must have given away the skepticism I felt. Okazaki shook his head with a bitter smile and spoke while looking up at the office building. They need to be protected by me, for now at least. As long as there's a chance they'll find Adonis, their talent and passion are genuine, I think. That's why He abruptly paused. His gaze was distant, and then it dropped. Okazaki? That's why. I want to be friendlier with them. They're good people. Right. Oh, poor Okazaki. He really wants to be... I do get the sense he really does want to be friendlier with them. And they just keep stonewalling the poor guy. Whether they're worthy of being protected, maybe I want to know that too. Don't you have it backwards? He had been charged with protecting people, and he didn't even know if they were worth protecting. And you too. Huh? I want to get along with you better too. When he said that, I grew wary again. I felt like I was being misled in several ways. While it might have been a compliment, I had no idea of Okazaki's true intentions, so it felt disconcerting. I felt I should keep my distance. Hey, didn't you have some business with the guys in the office? Oh! I finally remembered what I'd originally come here to do. I knew it. I'll come with you then. This is very bad. I couldn't speak openly with Yanagi's team if the topic of the collar was off limits. I could only imagine how upset they would be having Okazaki there. I'll be fine. I can get there on my own. I firmly denied him, but Okazaki just took my hand and dragged me along. Oh, he's inviting himself. You're so pushy. No need to be shy. Oh, you're not clueless. I'm not being shy. Okazaki wouldn't let go no matter what I said. I eventually entered the office half dragged.
Seriously, man, how many times have I told you not to just barge in here like you belong?
Is that voice Enomoto?
No need to be shy, Mineo. I, Hideaki Yoshinori, will be here to shield you from danger, rain or shine. How do you like that?
That's right. Okazaki sent Yoshinori ahead first. I timidly stepped into the noisy room.
I don't like it at all. And I'm not being shy. You're a pain in the ass.
Huh. Mineo, you still haven't figured out my true worth, have you?
And what might that be? I might look like this, but I'm actually a super helpful guy. For example, if that indecent book you have stashed in your bookshelf is ever about to be discovered by a girl you fancy, I'll hide it in my pocket in a flash.
He is super useful. He's great for you, Mineo. And look at his sparkly eyes saying that.
Gah, you punk. How many of my secrets do you know?
Oh, do you really want to know? The title of the DVD that you've hidden under your bed is... Oh my god!
No, stop! I'm begging you, don't say it!
Oh, he totally is the impy of this game. It was pretty obvious that Okazaki wasn't the only person that was viewed as a nuisance around the office. But they looked like they were having fun. Maybe he actually gets along well with Enomoto. I had taken the opportunity to enter, so Enomoto noticed me gawking at the scene in the doorway.
Gah, and Okazaki too! Why'd you bring that guy here?
He brought me here, actually.
Quite the collection of troublemakers.
Yanagi emerged from behind the partition with an exasperated look on his face.
Really, idiot cat. Get him out of here.
What do you want me to do? Pick him up and take him outside? Ugh, those are some painful stares. So your fault, Kei. But Okazaki ignored the criticism and turned to Sasazaka with a raised index finger. Hey, Takeru, calling her a stupid cat is rude. You should at least call her Miss Cat. Look, Cat isn't my name. Oh, that's true. Then I prefer to use your given name. My given name? Hey, Ichika, can I call you that? He flashed a smile that seemed so pure, my heart skipped a beat. Enchanted by that smile, I unthinkingly responded with downcast eyes. Sure, if you'd like. Ichika.
Wait, hang on a sec. You there, quit spacing out. Listen, this is no time to be getting all chummy with the SP. Sorry, Okazaki, but she's got business with us. Could you leave for today?
Quit schmoozing their client.
Personal?
Okazaki looked back and forth between Yanagi and I blankly. His shoulders drooped a bit, and he sighed quietly. Okay, let's go, Yoshinari.
We'll be back. I'll bring refreshments next time. Never come back.
When they left, everybody in the room sighed heavily. It's like, if Kei wasn't enough, now there's two of them. And one of them is half Mineo. It's Okazaki with Mineo's personality and a little bit more intelligence.
Stupid cat. Why'd you bring him? Don't tell me you two are like that.
Why do you assume that with everything? Mineo? Not at all. I just spotted him downstairs. I explained what happened earlier and how I'd been discovered.
I knew it. We knew that it was only a matter of time. We just need to make sure the caller stays secret. You have different jurisdictions. If you run into him on patrol, you'll just have to lie to him. Anyway, as far as electronic surveillance goes, this room is protected against eavesdropping. That guy's tech illiterate, so we don't have to worry about him bugging the place.
What about Yoshinari? Do you know him just as well as you know Okazaki?
But there's a good chance he could spy on us while hanging from the window.
That's happened before, even on the 4th floor. What's their image of those two? This wasn't the time to be imagining such things. I had a reason for coming here. So, about today's incident, how much do you all know about it?
All we have is what Sasazaka learned.
Summing up what I heard from Yanagi, we knew the crime occurred at the victim's residence. The murder weapon was a suppressed firearm, so the neighbors didn't notice the shots. The victim was currently unemployed. He was employed at a game development studio. I think his name was Satoru Tanaka? It matched everything I knew.
Did you learn anything else?
According to statements from witnesses, the victim had moved in recently and seemed to have a nocturnal lifestyle. Also, he seemed to be afraid of going outside.
Figures. He thought he could be the next target. He was probably worried sick.
You're saying that he anticipated that he would be targeted?
The coin was identical, so this is a match. They'll probably haul in a suspect soon, but I'll look into the rest.
Oh, Sasazaka ignored my question and continued his report.
The victim, Satoru Tanaka, is connected to the August incident. He programmed that online game from the case.
Huh? I turned to Yanagi in surprise. I now understood what Sasazaka was getting at. So that's why he knew he might be targeted. He must have been in constant fear. In August, many players of a popular online video game had been murdered. If Tanaka was part of the development staff for that game, he had a reason to be targeted.
Yeah, but that's not the problem. The important thing to focus on is that the style of this murder is different from all the others.
Huh? What do you mean? You think it might be a copycat crime?
You're still that far behind.
Sasazaka sounded disgusted with me, but I paid him no mind and looked at Yanagi.
There was a Roman numeral and a coin left at the scene, as with previous crimes. Shiraishi's confirmed that the coin uses the same unique construction methods, so it's definitely not a copycat crime. I knew they did this on purpose. Bastards! Yeah, otherwise there'd be no explaining their actions.
What do you mean on purpose? Once I confirmed that I still wasn't quite following along, Sasasuke pointedly sighed very loudly.
I said I'd kill you if you didn't do your homework, so use your worthless brain and think for once. Though I doubt you'll think anything useful.
This man speaks so rudely. I felt the blood rush to my face. You get used to it.
Well, it'd be good to get an idea of your skills. Did you notice anything suspicious?
Suspicious? What was different about this crime? The scope of the broadcast, definitely. First, the scope of the broadcast was smaller. The X-Day crime so far had used publicly viewable video to highlight police scandals and the inadequacies of the law. But for some reason, this video had only been sent to the police.
That's right. So why would they only send it to the police?
They only wanted the cops to know?
Yeah, that's right.
I patted myself in relief after getting it right.
Well, there's no doubt that they intended to provoke us. It was sent only to the police because they knew the police wouldn't immediately release it. Plus, the police are afraid of leaks, so they keep it on a need-to-know basis. In other words, the culprits wanted to narrow their audience down to those in the know.
But all the others were shown across the nation, so why would they limit it this time?
Can't you answer that if you think about it?
Can you, Mineo? Yeah. They limited its release because they wanted to throw off the investigation. They wanted to derail the investigation, right?
That's right, I think. Yanagi? Previous videos were streamed to the public, but when you had that many eyes analyzing things, you get a lot of insight. The people in the video, the location, objects, we can collect all their small details. An overabundance of information can be confusing, but investigators need all the help they can get.
There was a specific reason why Adonis limited the release of the video when they usually wanted the general public to watch. Basically, they were afraid the police would catch on too quickly.
Yup, makes sense that even a newbie like you could latch onto that.
But they still made a statement, knowing it could be a liability.
And that person barely escaped and got out of there before the cops had made their way to the scene of the crime. Also, the X-Day crimes haven't been lone acts. They're committed as part of a larger plan by the whole of Adonis. Hoshino, based on what we know so far, what do you think that Adonis is planning?
They deliberately sent the video to the police. They had chosen a window that ran the risk of the culprit being apprehended. The first thing I could conclude was the crime was poorly planned. Was the crime poorly planned?
Looks like it.
Previous X-Day crimes were elaborately designed murders. No unnecessary evidence was left at the scenes. Suspects with apparent motive had unnaturally clean alibis. The crime scenes had nondescript video evidence. But this time, that was all different. Whether or not they had done it for the thrill, they'd been far too lackadaisical in their crime. If they were slower, they might have been caught. But they still made a video, which means...
Yeah, what do you think?
They had prepared for that outcome. Even if they were caught, it wouldn't hurt Adonis. Rather, it might play right into their hands. Is that right?
You do know how long it took you to get caught up.
Oh, don't glare at me like that.
Come on, she's new. She's got no experience. It'd actually be scary if she knew right away. We can only speculate as to why they get so sloppy, after being so cynical thus far, but it's likely that they're disposing of their pawns. The list of potential suspects will be narrowed down soon. Yeah, we'll likely see arrests in the near future.
The conversation had moved past me again, and I thought hurriedly.
They're confident that they'll achieve their goal, even if they give us these hints. Right, psycho bastard listening on the collar.
Huh? I imagined a prick of pain coming from the collar in response to Sasaka's abrasive challenge. But the collar didn't respond or inject anything into my body.
At any rate, Adonis's methods have undoubtedly changed. Maybe their command structure has changed, or there's infighting, or this is all part of the plan. We'll have to proceed carefully.
Or maybe they allowed somebody a little too brash into their ranks.
It could also be the opening that we've been waiting for.
As Enomoto nodded spiritedly, Yanagi muttered something. Okay, and we're actually going to stop right there, because I have no idea when a better place to break will pop up. Aw, why wasn't Okazaki's friend here in other routes? I don't see why they couldn't have had him in here before. It seems like he should have been here. I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll find out more stuff in the next video. Hope to see you there or some of my other ones. And I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.